So here in my shop's welding area's bad light is the um, what is going to be the rear bumper with the four tail lights and the three center running lights that trucks require. Yeah, I've mentioned that those three running lights before. You have to have them on trucks and trailers over a certain width. You'll see it like 250s, um, trucks like Chevy's 2500 or Ford's 250s, um, Dodge's 2500s. Um, you won't see those lights because they don't meet that requirement because they aren't wide enough. But if you get up to the 3500s um, or 350s, you'll see them when they have dualies on the rear and the flared fenders because they exceed that width requirement, or so I've been told. That's the reason. Anyways, enough BS. This is the start of chapter 75, and let me show you how I got to that. And if you'll notice some of the rough cuts, you'll probably understand that it probably wasn't with a hole saw. So let's get into it. So what I did was I started cutting it with a hole saw, um, and I'll explain to you in a second why I stopped using the hole saw. What I did is went in there with a hole saw and went in a little ways so that it got a good depression in it, a good visual uh, cut of where the semicircle or the radius had to be for the end of them. And then I went in with a cutting torch. So I cut it out, cut half of them out, cut half of them out on both sides of it. Then marked it with put a straight edge across the two, marked it with soapstone, and then cut it out with the torch. The reason why I did it is one of the things that I kind of forgot. When you cut something with a hole saw and a hand drill, it makes a terrible noise. It's this sharp, high-pitched, squeaking noise. And I have an electrical contractor with women working in the office, and I know they wouldn't say anything, but it's annoying. It really is annoying. What I'm going to do is I'll set up a camera on a tripod and film a little bit of it, but it's probably one of the most annoying noises in the world. But I'll bring you back. What I'll do is go back through off camera and put a straight edge across that when it cools down a little bit. And 10 minutes later, and this thing is still hot. I'm gonna have to let that cool down. I'm gonna hit it with a. I have a little belt sander. It's the belt's 3/4 of an inch wide. I'll hit it with that. I'll probably do that now, but I'll have to let it cool down before I test fit those rubbers in there. Finer belts too. Came back over to the welding table to show you that die grinder that I had used after the file to kind of smooth out the edges, take a little down where it needed to be, and then test fitted the light into it. You also saw me using the angle grinder with a flapper disc on it. But that's kind of not the reason I came over here, not the only reason that I came over to the welding table. One of the things that I wanted to do is discuss something. Is you probably have seen or probably noticed as I built the truck, I kind of kept a log or a journal of things. Um, no, I'm not very good at it, and I seem to um, put entries in that have absolutely no meaning, and then the stuff that I should be logging, I kind of forget to enter. But regardless of the point, I do that. But what that has brought up is the electrical system. Um, what I'm going to have to do is start making a journal, diagrams, and a log of how I am wiring the truck. I'm starting at the back because it just so happens that I'm working on the rear bumper. So I'm starting at the back. I've got the taillights back there, taillights, turn signals, backup lights, stuff like that. But I've also got the 7-pin wiring connectors for the trailers that I've got to wire up. So what I'm going to have to do is start keeping a journal of wires, because I do not have the wires that the capabilities. Well, I probably have the capabilities, but I'm not going to do it. Of getting different colored wires or striped wires in different colors that could emulate everything that I am going to be running for this truck. So what I've got to do is start keeping a journal and a diagram of what I'm doing about the wires and how I'm running them and what color I'm running them in. Now, the truck, as I recall, again, it was a fire truck, so there was a lot of added wiring run in the truck that I probably never had a diagram for. I could probably go online and find a wiring diagram for a 1974 F750, but it'd probably be nothing like, other than like the dashboard wiring for the standard equipment of the dashboard. It would probably be nothing like that, because they ran all the lights for radios, sirens, flashing lights. But when I picked the truck up, it had been a tanker truck, and if I remember correctly, and I'll have to go back through the very old videos to find out, but if I remember correctly, there was no wiring in the going to the back. The tail lights were probably on the tank, and they probably just cut the harness off at the behind the cab, where the wires had been run through the tank or up into the tank for the tail lights and any flashing red flashing lights for the fire department emergency lights that were probably run inside of the compartments of the tank. But if I remember correctly, I don't think there was any wiring on the framework behind the cab. But I will check that. But so one of the things that I've got to do is keep track of all of that. And again, I'm not going to be able to have the multicolored wires that like a automotive manufacturing company uses to designate wiring for every different thing that is on the truck. So I'm going to have to come up with a new journal or a new log that I can make diagrams and keep notes on wiring, wire colors, and what I've run to different components. Also the different sizes, as you go work from the back, you can LED lights don't take a lot of amperage so you can run smaller wire to the LED lights that are going in, like the bumper. But as you get farther forward and start picking up more lights, and then the connections for the 7-way pin connection on the trailer hookups, then the wiring is going to have to start getting bigger wiring for, like, say, the brake controller and stuff like that. But Um, the point of the whole thing is I'm probably going to have to get another notebook and designate that as a wiring notebook for the truck. But anyways, we'll continue on here. I don't know what my next step is. I kind of showed that in my opening shot, and it is done. I've installed the rubber and all of the holes, and the lights go in there, fit in there. One of the things that I've got to do is come up with some 4-inch flat stock to weld off the ends of these things. I was thinking maybe putting a red light, one of these little button lights in each end of the caps on the end, but I'm not really sure if I'm going to even do that. But I'll bring you back. So I did find a piece of plate steel laying around the shop that I could cut 2 4-inch squares out of. What I needed was, and I know that there was other ways to do this, but I wanted a piece that had 2 good sides on it so I could square it up. Two like even surfaces like this is not a cut surface, and you can put a square on it and square the piece up. But I found 2 of them. I cut them out on the bandsaw, and what I've done is weld one onto the end of one end of the tube. I've still got a little work to do on it. I weld it on, and then I take a grinder, flapper disc, not a grinder, flapper disc, and just go around and kind of smooth it out so it's not so noticeable. The welds aren't noticeable. It's kind of smooth, and if somebody bumped into it, they're not going to get a sharp edge or a rough edge or anything like that. When I say bumped into it, I'm not talking about a truck bumping into it or a car bumping into it. I'm talking about people walking into it. And it also looks a lot better that way too than have welds around the 4 sides and kind of a bump there, from the weld. But I welded it on the one end. Going to take that plate and do it on the other end. My voice might sound a little funny. I was talking to some people for the last couple of hours, but anyways, yeah, it's coming along, and I'm continuing work. I made that clip a couple of clips ago, made that video a couple of clips ago about the electrical wiring and having to make diagrams and a notebook on it. One of the things that I started thinking about after I did it was that I had gotten a wiring diagram for the sleeper and had been kind of probing out some of those wires to kind of figure out what it was. Now, I had written it down on a sheet of paper, not only on the schematic but on a sheet of paper. But I'll be darned if I can find that piece of paper. I'll take you over and show you the connectors on the sleeper. There's so many, it's just unbelievable how much stuff is wiring is in that sleeper. Most of it's not going to be being used because a lot of it has to do with speakers and things like that, but I'll take you over and show it to you, the wiring harness that comes out of it. Harnesses, I should say, that come out of it. I'm over here to the sleeper, and these are actually the harnesses that come out of it. There's 4 of them. Now, probably the only thing that I'm going to use is the lights. Both the lights inside of the sleeper, and there's 2 tail lights like on the back of the sleeper. There's a refrigerator and there's a fan for the heater core. Now, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about that heater core. If I'm actually going to run, hoses from the heater of the radiator back to the heater core, but we'll get into that at another time. But I just wanted to show you the mess of wires that are in this sleeper. You know, you wouldn't think that, but yeah, there it is. Back over to the welding table, and this is the end that I had showed you that I just finished welding and using the flapper disc on to get it out, sand it out, you know, ground out. But this is ready for me to attach the plates to, so I'm going to be doing that pretty quick. I'm not sure if it's going to be in this video, but I've got the plates and I'm going to start cutting them out probably, so that might be in the next video, but I'll bring you back in. Just going to give you this little shot here of the weather. Today is Monday, the day of the eclipse, and here in just outside of Buffalo, Niagara Falls, New York, is totality of the eclipse is supposed to happen somewhere around 3 o'clock, 3:18, something like that. But I got to tell you, with those clouds, the possibility of being able to see it is very. It's only 11:30 right now, but probably it doesn't look like it's going to get much better. I am going to end the video on this. So again, I got this done, and well, not done, you know, it's not wired or anything like that, but I'm probably going to start cutting the plate out, stuff like that, get it ready for fabrication of the plate onto it. If that eclipse does happen and it is visible, I'll try and maybe shoot a shot, but it'll happen in the next video. That's going to do it for this video, this chapter. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe.